concerned about trouble and trying to irresponsible, one-sided news stories.
Sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these stories simply aren't true without checking facts first. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Hey everyone, Dave here, December 1773. With me, as always, is Ryan. This is episode 26 of The Weekly Show. And as always, be sure to click in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen to become part of December Nation and to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Ryan's having one, putting it down. It's classic Ryan.
Yeah, especially after Bill's victory yesterday.
But you're on the shirt drinking. That's how it's classic Ryan.
Alcoholism at its finest, used in branding.
Ryan, last week, obviously, we had a jam-packed amount of things to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly the Capitol siege. I don't know what you got from this week. This week seemed much more lax. Obviously, there was the impeachment stuff that was going on, but
yeah, I would say lax physically, but
yeah, and then
was some.
Yeah, and then we have some upcoming. Of course, this is the last, as you pointed out this is the last podcast before we have a new president.
Passing of the torch.
He will be inaugurated. We went to 2016. We went to the inauguration of Donald Trump. I will certainly be passing on this one.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll even be able to go.
Yeah, well, they're going to have between COVID and the fact that he's got 25,000 armed guards showing up.
Well, not just that. I don't know if I could leave New York State without being. I think the state is spying on people re-entering the state's borders. Because I don't know if people know this, but to leave New York State, you probably drive over a toll road. I think people are getting spied on entering New York State. Even if we were to go to inauguration, I don't know if I would be able to come back and swing it like financially and just
your 2-week quarantine or whatever it is.
Yeah, the degree of difficulty is super high. But 2016 was cool. I had the Facebook memories pop up when we went there. I did a couple live streams, and everything else, and it was cool. It was very cool.
We thought it seemed like it was going to be a little more rowdy there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when we got there, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, people were throwing chairs through windows and stuff, but we didn't really see anything super, super crazy when we were there.
No, we walked by broken glass and the windows at Starbucks and stuff, but yeah, it wasn't as violent. Like I know the news paints out whatever, but obviously, yeah, it wasn't as violent. But I don't know how it would be. There's been a lot of good tweets circulated recently about everything. I don't want to get too far ahead of everything, but yeah, it was definitely an interesting news week, and there's also some. After we do your second favorite segment, we got a little conspiracy-ish extraterrestrial cast.
What? I love a good conspiracy, especially alien. Is that what that encrypted message was you sent me?
What I tell you to fuck off or something?
No, I think the quote was, "I got something for your ass," which. Depending on context, that can be a terrifying thing to get sent, but...
You know what I meant.
Ryan's got something for my ass, all right. It's going to be conspiracy-ish. I think we should do every once in a while, we should do a good conspiracy video. Conspiracy Cast, to this day, as much as I love doing the show, Conspiracy Cast, I think, was the most fun one so far. Just because we got to just...
it's silly, and it's like not even nowadays. It's just like you could even drag.
And I'm not even like a super big conspiracy guy, but I like. It's not necessarily that I do or don't believe in them. I just like talking about them. Even if I don't believe in 90% of them, I just love. I love how people put things together, and sometimes they're right. We find out 10 years from now, sometimes some of these things are right, but.
Yeah, I don't want to get too far ahead, but to piggyback on that, I mean, the days of even entertaining the thought of conspiracy may be over sooner than they start. And I want to start before you do your segment. Why do we do this? This is dumb. We need to stop doing this, people, on Instagram. I don't care about how close you can get to your face. Last week, I talked about 1984, and I broke down. I got super emotional. I was emotional because I'm passionate about getting spied on and stolen on and all that. But besides the fact, I actually was wrong. Twitter doesn't allow you to hashtag numbers at all. But
this is awkward.
But with that being said, the other things that happen that doesn't even matter about Orwell or 1984 being banned when the level of censorship that has taken place in this particular week is outstanding.
Yeah, for sure. So what you're saying though is I couldn't go on.
It's still
I couldn't hashtag 1773.
No, you couldn't. But I believe at one time you used to be able to. Okay. But with that being said, like I said, 1984 may not be a hashtag because Twitter doesn't allow it, but they're still doing 1984 shit.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt.
They're still doing 1984 shit. Yeah. So my crying is over the dumb hashtag because that to me was them throwing it in your face. They still throw it in your face, man. They still throw it in your face.
It's like we planned this, even though we definitely didn't. So speaking of Twitter, and speaking of the headline segment, headlines.
It's so amazing the things we talk about come back, dude. Like,
yeah. I don't know. We really, honestly, I swear we don't plan any of this. We honestly do way less work on this than we should. Twitter loses $5 billion in market value after Trump is permanently barred from the platform.
Now, this is highly reminiscent of the cuties thing, but in a different way, obviously. And I'm not going to say what I said to Netflix because now that I think about, if you look at Netflix's content, maybe that value did hurt them. Because they haven't been putting out great content. My point is, like, it did hurt them. So, Twitter got bullied around there, huh? People didn't like it.
Yeah, a little bit.
What's Twitter's worth? Like $5 billion. Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know their actual worth, but I'm assuming $5 billion is drop in the bucket territory.
Apple has more money than countries, so
I'm sure Twitter does too. I wouldn't doubt it.
Oh, Silicon Valley is probably the wealthiest square foot place on earth.
Outside of like maybe like Middle Eastern oil
royalty.
Sheiks. Yeah. Speaking of people losing lots of money, headlines. Elon Musk falls to second richest person in the world after his fortune drops nearly $14 billion in one day.
Fuck you, Jeff Bezos.
Well,
fuck you.
Yeah.
Boy.
It's gone up a little bit again since, but they had that little they had the miniature crypto crash, and it's slowly worked its way back up.
I'll go figure.
Either way, could you imagine losing $14 billion a day? No, you can't. I guarantee it.
Crypto crash when Joe Biden came out and said, "Hey, I want to give people $1,400 and then checks for life, maybe."
No, that's what's going to raise it back up. You talked about this last week when we talked about the Capitol siege. Headlines. Armed protests being planned at all 50 state capitals, FBI bulletin says. Didn't you say that? You said if they're going to do it in D.C., they're going to do it at the state, the local. I remember this. Sure enough. FBI bulletin.
Hey, I'll tell you. You take silence as weakness for so long. That's the old golden saying passed down through the ages, man. It rings true. People are desperate, man. I mean, we don't even got to talk about the dozens of videos of people telling the cops to fuck off or having parties of people and they're telling them to get out of there or anything like that. There's plenty of examples happening in front of our eyes that people have had plenty of enough. And even so, more enough, headlines. Andrew Cuomo says that maybe we should reopen the economy.
Mm-hmm. The timing is very
safe and
convenient.
Smart. It's weird. Joe Biden was elected? I don't know. He's not even elected yet. But the votes are certified. Weird.
Mm-hmm.
So Biden's not president, but
it's almost like once he learned.
President.
Yeah, it's almost like once he learned that he was guaranteed to be inaugurated on the 20th. Better open that economy back up. Shocking. Speaking of Biden being certified as president, headlines. Georgia lawmaker says she'll file Biden impeachment articles on January 21st.
For what, David? For what, David?
Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. She'll find something. I mean, if you can just make them up as you go, like they did. So, I posted. I should post this on our December page and share it on liberal pages and see if we get any answers. Was there any specifications to Trump's inciting of violence? Did they have anything that they pointed to and said, "Look at this statement right here. This is inciting violence"?
David, when the party that controls speech, they can say anything they want. Doesn't matter.
I read through a lot of the tweets, and I got to be honest, not a single one of them incited violence.
How did you read through the tweets, David? They're deleted.
Oh, well, there's a very convenient and handy website you can go to that stores deleted tweets. Oh, yeah. It's used by a lot of fact-checking groups, which they must have forgot existed for this. Looking at you, PolitiFact idiots. Where were you on this one?
Hey, God forbid you be Ben Shapiro. Is that in your headlines? Please, for real, people, can we stop doing this? I know this is not what you do with your phone. It's like you do. It's a one-button thing you do with a filter. But I get
I don't have Ben Shapiro news in my headlines. I can let you handle that. Speaking of fact-checking and people that don't like to do it, I like this because this is a twofer. So hold your thoughts on this until I get the second headline.
Okay.
Headlines. DOJ says Capitol rioters intended to capture and assassinate elected officials. Headlines. U.S. takes back its assertion that Capitol rioters wanted to capture and assassinate officials. Oh, that's... Just throw it out there and maybe walk it back after, I don't know, the impeachment?
David, do you know the time span between those two articles? Do you have the dates? Or is it a couple days? It's within the week, I'd assume.
It's within the week, yeah.
Isn't it crazy that within one day they can hijack public perception?
I just looked. It was January 15th. January 15th and January 15th.
It's amazing, right? And more people don't read they only read the initial statement. They don't read the retraction and also I'm sure that retraction or that headline of saying, "Oh, hey, we're sorry," that was probably buried in other headlines.
Oh, you had to scroll.
It was, like on Google, how you normally only stay on the first 3 pages. Yeah, that was on page 11.
Yeah, it was buried.
So it's amazing to me that within a day, they can hijack public perception with just headlines, because that's all I have time to read anyways. That's why we do these segments, and then we break them down. We don't even have to read the headline to know the bullshit, whatever it is. It's just we know they're selling us fake meat, but it's crazy. They hijack the public perception for a whole day, and then, hey, sorry. And then people don't read it, or they're already worked up, or they have already gone to blog sites or social media, or they already
spread. It's already spread like wildfire. Yeah. Even if 4 hours later you issue the retraction or whatever, who cares? It's 4 hours of social media is a lifetime.
Yeah, considering you follow 7,000 people.
Yeah, it's game over at that point.
I'm just friends with everybody.
So yeah, that was.
You know how they call it an echo chamber, right? Like social media is an echo chamber. Yeah. I think we do it. I think we do it injustice. I think it's a social anthill, right? And like if you envision like an anthill in glass, they dig all of those different routes. There's all those. It's not just the echo chamber. Like there's paths, and there's hundreds of possibilities of ways to get from one end to the other. And that's what it is. Social media is little pockets. Like we're stuck in an anthill, screaming into nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
We don't do it justice with. It makes it just sounds like we're just screaming in a cave, but it's really we're in a super huge cave, and everybody's in a cave in a cave in a cave.
Yeah, like, everyone's in their own little world in that cave.
Especially digitally, like we've been, in a society that tells you to be unique and be yourself, we have crushed everybody down to labels, hashtags.
Ooh. Can I just go from here?
I'm just gonna shut up.
We don't plan this.
When you I know. Like, all right, I've already.
Headlines.
It just Stop doing this.
New York Jets make history hiring Robert Saleh to become NFL's first Muslim head coach. How many funny racist Muslim puns can we do? 30 seconds. Go. The offense will be explosive. I'm not doing this. We're not doing it. It's really just going to be a bunch of explosion jokes.
Those are all racist connotations. Serious question though: is he a foreigner? Like, is he an immigrant rather?
No, I don't think so.
His name sounds American.
Well, I mean, it's Robert. I thought this one was interesting. We like to talk about defining words and things like that. But have you ever seen the movie Grease? It's kind of an old movie. I don't know how many people you know.
Bro, I love Grease. Grease lightning, go, 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 go. Go, Grease lightning, David's burning up headlines. Grease lightning, go, Grease lightning. All right, I'm done.
Well,
stick after for the December cover band.
There is not going to be a cover band at the end.
Even I will throw down with Freedom. Freedom will do backup vocals.
Headlines. Greece is being slammed as racist, rapey, homophobic, and slut-shaming.
Why are we shaming slut-shaming?
No, why are we supposed to be sad about that?
Do we want... Let's ask a real question. Do we want our daughters to be sluts? I'm telling you right now, you don't want a slutty daughter.
That's slut-shaming, Ryan. You should be embarrassed. We can't slut-shame, but we can be mad about toxic masculinity.
Yeah, we can dick shame. Can't slut shame. Hey, the adult entertainment clubs are starting to open again in New York. Yeah, sure. We all, men slut shame. Believe me.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
They also fund it.
We fund the sluts. What are you talking about?
Ooh, this is back to fake news again. I like fake news.
Fake news doesn't exist, David.
CNN reports a Dem rep grabbed a crowbar during Capitol attack. He actually grabbed an energy bar. Where do you get a crowbar?
Was the energy bar called crowbar?
No.
Oh. Was it?
Headlines. Joe Manchin says Senate should consider removing Josh Hawley and Ted Cruz under the 14th Amendment.
What's the 14th Amendment?
The 14th Amendment states that, well, this subsection of it, that senators, much like the president, who get behind and support people who were attempting to overthrow the government or whatever nonsense, that they can also be impeached and removed from power.
Did Trump try to use the military, David?
Well,
to overthrow the government? Did he encourage his senator colleagues to insurrection on the government?
Well, no, he didn't do those two things.
I'm pretty sure he said, let's walk down the street. Now, Rudy Giuliani did say, let's have a trial by warfare, which probably was not the best word to use. I can't believe you didn't have this in your headlines. Let me pull her up here. CIA declassifies more than 2 million pages of UFO documents. A dossier with more than 730 files of the unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs, was published on the Black Vault website on Thursday. Spent 2 decades suing the CIA to release the records and scanning the pages one by one. My friend sent me this very interesting video about a patent that the United States Navy filed. Okay, and I want to read this to you. Okay, okay. Craft using an aerial mass reduction device. U.S. patent 10144532B2. Okay. Current assignee, the United States Secretary of the Navy. This was filed in 2016 all the way through 18 publication. It is possible to reduce the internal mass and hence the gravitational mass of a system object in motion by an abrupt perpetuation of the nonlinear background of local space-time. I gave the patent name, if anybody actually cares, to go and read it themselves because it's very nerdy and it's very wordy. But what it is saying is that we have the UFO technology. We have it. We have it patented. The United States has it. We have the UFOs.
And what was the year on that patent?
Stop screaming.
16 to 18.
Interesting. So, Brian, if we could just go back, because technology can be borrowed. For people who have followed Bob Lazar's story, what the hell was that? For people who have followed Bob Lazar's story, I believe it was in 1989, he was asked to reverse engineer a propulsion device in Area S4 of Area 51. And he described in 1989 an anti-gravity type device that bent time and space. And then, of course, he made it public and took it public, and then he got laughed at as a conspiracy nut and this lunatic who didn't know anything. And he also mentioned Element 115, which didn't exist until 2003, but he predicted that somehow 30 years in advance. What I'm saying, Ryan,
God forbid the government ever, classify something and they declassify it, Dave. It's not,
it's not
like the CIA just declassified 50 million documents, bro.
And then in those 50 million documents, did they mention anything else?
I didn't read them.
You don't know.
Dude, if I were to read 500 pages a day, it would take me like 7 years to read those.
Let me ask you this also. If we do, in fact, have this technology that we patented in 2016, how do we use it? Do they have any use for it?
David, they show diagrams of what the airplane would look like. And you know what it looks like? Like a triangle.
Interesting. So do they make these anti-gravity triangles? Have they created any?
I love how you're really digging like I actually
Dude,
David.
Have you ever seen a floating anti-gravity triangle made by the U.S.?
Look. Okay. The United States had a plane called the SR-71 Blackbird. Okay? I don't know if you know anything about this plane. But at its time, it was the peak stealth performer bomber.
Yeah.
Surveillance. Stealth. And we didn't even know about it as the public until the late 80s. Okay? They used it for like 30 years. So what's 30 years from 2018? The 90s. Let's just say that they've had it for 30 years before they patented it.
Maybe. I'm just saying maybe they didn't invent it or create it.
What is the thing that the hydrogen collider?
What do you mean? I know what you mean,
collider,
but
the particle accelerator collider, right? Is that what it's called? Humans made that, right?
Yeah, they make all types of stuff.
Yeah. It simulated the birth of galaxies, David. We can make fucking UFOs, dude.
Can we, though?
They filed patents for them.
Then how come it takes us... Why haven't we gone to any planets other than Mars?
David, how much money do you think it costs to make one of those planes? We could probably pour our whole GDP into make... Well, that's another thing. We would have fucking alien spacecraft that we didn't have dead, dumbass.
Wait, right there. You just You just did it.
What?
So we're creating the aliens. We made the aliens, right? You've said this before. We make the aliens. We make the UFOs. We can do it.
Yeah.
So people who have seen them, they're just stuff we made.
They're real.
Okay, but there's
made them.
Stuff we made, but we can't afford to do it.
David, we can afford to do it.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, you're asking why we haven't been fucking blasting to Mars and bringing back asteroids to build shit out of. Well, we'd have to
a
dump
private citizen who can afford to do it. You can't tell me it's a cost thing. The United States government doesn't give a shit about cost.
Like, well, there's oil over there. We'll fucking figure it out. So yeah, people. We make the aliens. I'm telling you. I don't know why you doubt you. The car you drive, if you were to take that to Julius Caesar, would think that would be an alien spaceship. I don't know why you think that we can't make something that's cool like that when we make hydrogen colliders and all this other shit in our smartphone.
I'm not saying we can't do it ever. I'm saying I don't believe we can do it now.
David, they filed a fucking patent for it.
So I can file a patent for anything I want.
Shut up! You have to prove it works.
Oh my God! Have you ever filed a patent? Here,
David, it was done by the Navy. I'm not filing the patent. This is done by the Secretary of the Navy. Well, obviously, this has gone through chains of commands of people. This isn't just like, oh, look at Ryan Cusack filing a patent for some sweet shit. This is the Secretary of the fucking Navy.
Perfect.
The Navy that has aircraft carriers that hold sweet shit on them.
So here's what I'm saying. If they can make it, show me. I want to see it. Don't show me a piece of paper that says you can do it. I want to see it.
I brought it up last week, and you know what's funny to me? The photograph actually looks like that Chinese video I talked about that showed the next generation of stealth airplane bombers that the Chinese government released a promo video of, and they're expecting to reveal it soon. And they'd be the first nation to have it. That photograph looked awfully a lot like the Chinese plane looks like a triangle.
Yeah.
So how do we know that China's not fucking with anti-proportional? I don't know. Considering they're the country that wants a world bank on DNA, they're the country, that's doing super soldiers. Everybody's doing super soldiers. But country, they don't have ethics, apparently. I'm told to believe that. Yeah, we make the UFOs, David.
Yeah, well, I don't think so. We barely make cool planes, let alone UFOs.
All right. So, do you want to get to your second favorite segment?
Yes.
Do you have any Decembertainment this week other than what I think we're going to talk about?
No, I have no Decembertainment.
I do.
If you want me to prepare for Decembertainment, tell me in advance and I'll find something to watch.
Well, I just didn't know if Decembertainment can be anything. It could be a magazine article you read.
Decembertainment feels like a Ryan thing. You did make it up.
You made up headlines. That's true.
I know.
All right,
I get the headlines. You get the tainment.
This week, I haven't had. I like comic books. I'm a huge DC guy. I like Marvel, all that, but I really like Batman. So I read this. I put it on my Instagram. The Three Jokers. It's a Batman book. Incredible. I'm going to spoil it because, one, I don't care about that, but because I know you won't read it. Batman knows who the Joker is the whole time, and Joker knows who Batman is the whole time. The reason Batman never goes after the Joker and everything else and like reveals his true identity and truly gets him captured is because the Joker has a family, and the family would be followed by the media and villains and everything else that would rip their lives apart when he helped them get away. So a lot of things happen, and there's actually three Jokers and all this other cool stuff. It's a super cool book, but I bring up the ending because it just really makes me rethink about every Batman book I have ever read and then every Batman book I will ever read. You know, because it is in chronological order. This isn't an alternate universe Batman. Like, this is the guy who writes it. His name is Jeff Johns. He writes a lot of good stories. He writes like Green Lantern and other stuff, but he writes a lot of good stuff. And he's been given the keys to like rewrite whatever he wants, like write the lore of DC. You know what I mean? Like what is true. And for him to write that in there and like right at the end, literally the last panel was the ending about him knowing about Joker. There's a lot of 9-panel breakdowns, which I don't know if you know what that is, but it's like 9 little comic boxes. And I bring that up because it ties into another story later in DC that revolves around the movie The Watchmen and the graphic novel The Watchmen, and it's just like super good comic book storytelling. The story's awesome. It will make you rethink all of the legends of Batman and what you rethink of the Joker and the Batman relationship and all of that. Just super awesome. And yeah, I highly recommend it.
So I'm kind of more curious about the 3 separate Jokers.
Okay.
Is it 3 separate Jokers kind of all at like the same time?
Well, I'll show you the picture again. But they're actually 3 separate dudes. Yes, but they're all in the same room and together at one time.
Oh, okay.
And what's symbolic about the Jokers is like because the story, not only is it a Batman story, but the Red Hood, which I don't know if you know who he is. He was one of the Jokers. He was one of the Robins, and the Joker killed him. His name's Jason Todd. He was the second Robin. And he becomes a Red Hood, and he becomes more vigilante. He uses guns and shit. And Batgirl also is in the story. Batgirl is shot and paralyzed by the Joker, and then becomes Oracle, which is basically when Batman's like, hey, I need directions to whatever, Oracle's on the other end of the computer giving him directions. She's breaking in, that's how it all... And then she gets her ability back. She fixes her spine so she's not paralyzed, and then she becomes Batgirl again. So, like, there's a lot of, like Jeff Johns is really good. He's been at DC a long time, so he knows the stories and how they all work together. He's written a lot of them. And that's what I mean. Like, just this one book, like, ties a lot of different stories together really well and simply. And you don't even have to read the other stories to understand that. Like, it's just so my point with bringing that up is each Joker is for each one of those characters. Like, Batman's Joker is the oldest Joker. And he's more criminal. He's not so funny. He doesn't care about jokes as much. Like the one that kills Jason Todd is the comedian. So he's more into jokes and making things funny, and it's just very cool done. But the point is like the Joker, the first Joker, makes other Jokers. And with like Joker toxin or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
he chemically engineers them.
Yeah, because for people who don't know, the Joker toxin isn't that he poisons people; he turns people into the Joker. Like that's what Joker toxin does. That's why it's scary that he injects Batman in all the stories, because a Batman turned into the Joker would be fucking dangerous. Like no one would stop a Batman Joker because of his strength, because of his smarts, because of his money and his cool car. Like you know what I mean? And they actually tell that story in another DC story, and it's fucking super awesome. But yeah, so it's just like that's why it's so important. But yeah, he tries to just make more Jokers of himself. But the problem is, like in another thing in the story, I don't know if you know, but the guy who kills Batman, his name's Joe Chill. Okay, that's the guy that kills Batman's parents. And the Joker knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman, so he knows, because everybody in Gotham knows, that Joe Chill kills Batman. So the Joker knows that Joe Chill kills Bruce Wayne and turned Bruce Wayne into Batman. He knows that and understands that. Mm-hmm. And the whole point of the story is to build a new Joker that is more important than Joe Chill. Because the Joker's all about symbolic nature and symbolism. And like, it's another thing between Batman and Joker that Joker doesn't want Batman's love, right? He just wants Batman to be all about the Joker. Like, Joker wants Batman to be his only villain, basically. His only interest. Like, he wants his whole life to be about the Joker. That's what he wants Batman's life to be. But it's just like, I bring it all up because just like, once again, super good storytelling. It ties all these like loose ends together and all this Batman mythology very well. The art is awesome. Super good storytelling.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
Fuck Fuck Marvel.
Excuse me?
Well, I just think people with the mindset, if you were to read some good Batman books, you would see why like a lot of people love DC. And they're both great. I like them both. But I read a lot more DC books than I do Marvel. Obviously, this is the week of the transition of power. Trump being impeached the second time is kind of symbolic that they don't want him to run for politics again and all this other stuff. But some people are still saying it's going to switch and they believe in the president. And so we'll see what happens this week. This is, this is the passing of the torch. So we'll see how the Chinese government, my fear for the Biden administration is how China is. So I hope Middle East peace and all that, but our economy, and we'll see what happens. So, but nobody can go to the inauguration. So maybe next time, David.
Maybe.
But until then, until next week, catch us at 7 o'clock when this drops on Mondays live for the premiere. If not, you can stream anytime on our YouTube channel. I'm Ryan and Dave from December 1773. Thanks for watching. If you like the content, share the content. And I guess I'll see everybody later.
Yep, we'll see you next time around.
Peace, dude.
See ya.
What in tarnation?
What?
What's up, Deadpool?
Yeah.
Should I get my bat mask? Is it too dark?
No, I did.
Okay.
I do right now. I don't know, I saw that coming into the room and I've been there forever. But for a reason I felt like putting it on.
What kind of cookies you got there?
Oh.
I got questions. They look like white macadamia nut.
Not quite. Sort of.
White chocolate chip.
Yeah, they're supposed to be more chocolatey. Well, than they are. But we didn't have the right amount of cocoa, so it came to cocoa.
Let me try some. I'm jealous. I don't have cookies.
Not bad though.
But I did, in a twist of fate today, I did get a free McFlurry from McDonald's. So,
How?
my daughter wanted an M&M one, and they accidentally made an Oreo one. And as he handed it to me, he's like, "Oh, it was supposed to be M&M, right?" It's like, "Yeah."
No,
like,
that's right.
He's like, just keep it. All right, thanks. So.
Headlines! Biden wants $15 an hour minimum wage.
Headlines. I had to roll back through drive-thru and get the chicken sandwich they missed. Headlines. The cheeseburger that my mother got had too much ketchup on it and had to get remade.
Listen, nobody's perfect.
Wow, way to dive right into it off the jump. A cute story about a free McFlurry and cookies. Got political quickly.
We got all types of shit, man. We got this show's packed. We got Deadpool. And we got cookies.
We got a mysterious Batman.
Stories. And we tied it into, other stuff.
I know we're not at Decembertainment yet, but by the time we get to Decembertainment, the Browns may have beaten the Chiefs, which is what we're all hoping for here in Buffalo. So.
Well, yes.
Whoa.
That.
Turn it down, please. It's my little monster. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, a little brighter, a little dimmer, please. The other way, please. Come on, Cheese Cube. All right, hey! Soft fight! Go! Don't touch my guitar. Come on, this is a studio sacred! Studios are sacred! No! Alright, please leave me alone. Very funny, man. have kids, they said, okay, I'll try the dark on it, but I don't think it's gonna work.
Ooh, the lights really set it off, though.
Hold on, let's see. Is it a vibe?
What's a vibe? I mean, I can't see you.
Ooh, I'm like mysterious.
I'm even darker than I am.
That sounded racist. Why do they do this on the social media? Like enunciation of the face. That's odd.
But I'm getting the internet hacking, staticky interference. They're onto us.